This week I've got two movies. I've got Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again and Blindspotting. So Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again is a sequel to Mamma Mia, and I really wish they had not made this movie. I think I saw the first one, but now having seen the second one, I'm not 100% sure. The cast of the original is back. You've got Amanda Seyfried, you've got Dominic Cooper, you've got Stellan Skarsgard, Pierce Brosnan, Colin Firth, Julie Walters and Christine Baranski, and of course Meryl Streep. I'm pretty sure Meryl Streep's contractual obligation to this one was like the bare minimum. They literally, I'm sure they paid through the nose to get her in however few limited scenes she's in. Spoiler alert, she's only in a tiny bit. So if you're going because you love Meryl Streep, I don't know if this is why you should go. Actually, I honestly don't know if anyone should go see this movie. So here's my thing about it. The idea is it's, fast forward to the future. It tells the story of how Meryl Streep's character meets Pierce Brosnan, Colin Firth, Stellan Skarsgard. And if you remember the first one, the idea is that they don't know who the father of Amanda Seyfried is. So it tells the parallel storyline. Amanda Seyfried is now stepping into her mother's shoes. She's building a hotel on this Greek island. And we also see Lily James play a young Meryl Streep's character. And I have to say, Lily James did a fine job, right? Her singing's pretty decent. She looks nothing like Meryl Streep, but she embodied the kind of hippy-dippy spirit that seems to be appropriate to the core of the character, so I was fine with it. My problem was with the guys they cast as the young versions of Pierce Brosnan, Colin Firth, and Stellan Skarsgard. I kind of get why you had those guys in the first movie, right? They're big-ish names. They're big names. They are big names, but I don't know if they're the biggest names, but they're also the age appropriate for, what they're playing. I take it back. They're obviously big names. How I guess I'm thinking of this in terms of the audience it's trying to appeal to, and if I'm thinking about it, okay, they're definitely huge names for the generation probably who grew up with ABBA or is more familiar with ABBA than trying to bring in a newer generation, which is what I think they're trying to do with this sequel by having Lily James and these other young people. So anyway, my point is though, Pierce Brosnan, Colin Firth, and Stellan Skarsgard can't sing. They are very terrible singers. It is awful. Even with the auto-tuning, they were terrible, and they try to sing a little bit in this, and it is very unpleasant. But you have this opportunity when you're playing out the young storyline where it's oh, okay, well, you can cast young guys who can sing. Did they choose to do that? No, not at all. And not only that, the young guys don't look anything like their older versions. It's barely passing as the older versions of them. Sometimes their accents don't even line up. It's very confusing. And I was I don't understand that. It's not like the young guys they cast as the three dudes are super famous or, super particularly talented, quite honestly. So I don't understand why they cast them. No offense to them. They did an okay job for what they were given, but it was very bizarre. And so really the other reason you go see Mamma Mia is because of the music, right? I don't think I maybe knew 2 songs, maybe, and that's being maybe 3 songs out of a 2-hour-long musical movie. There's a reason also that these songs are the B-sides or the not popular ones. Mamma Mia, the first movie, clearly burned through the good parts of the catalog, and now we're just left with the druthers. They really were forcing the way that they were trying to integrate these songs, and you could feel them stretching. I'll give shout-outs where shout-outs are due. I love Cher. Cher is in this movie. She steals the show. She has this moment. Andy Garcia is also in it, and they have a nice little, back and forth. But Cher is classic. Cher is timeless. Cher is a rock star or diva. So I enjoyed seeing that. I do like Julie Walters and Christine Baranski's kind of older lady, fun banter. But overall, I was so bored during this movie. So bored. And also you kind of know how it ends, and it just didn't add value, and something felt off, and Amanda Seyfried's performance felt disingenuous almost, or trying too hard, and I was just what world, obviously I get it, it's a movie musical, they don't live in the real world, but it just felt so bubble-ish that I was okay, honestly, I'm going to give it 1 out of 5. This was a painful experience. Maybe if you really love this movie or Mamma Mia, or if you really love ABBA, watch the first one again, but don't put yourself through this. So again, 1 out of 5 for Mamma Mia. Here we go again. So the other movie I've got this week is much better, thankfully, and is Blindspotting. And I have to say, I'm so weirdly happy that the Bay Area and Oakland in particular is having a hot streak at the movies, because as I have said constantly, I am from Oakland, and I thought this movie did a really good job of capturing actual Oakland. There were some moments that are so genuine and real, and there's one fictionalized moment within it that takes place at a real location that I literally had to go to the real location and verify with them that they had fabricated that part of it for the movie. They literally use the characters work at the moving company that like moved me to my latest apartment. So I was like, okay, this movie is like clearly, Bay Area born and bred. Daveed Diggs and Rafael Casal both star in it and wrote it. You probably know Daveed Diggs more than you know Raf, as people seem to call him. Daveed Diggs is from the original cast of Hamilton. He's in the movie Wonder. He's sometimes on Blackish. And both of them clearly have been putting music together for a very long time. There's a great sense of musicality to this film. In fact, it's much better than Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, because they are actually musically talented. Basically, the idea is they play a character, Daveed Diggs plays a character called Colin, Ralph plays a character called Miles, and Colin is on his last few days of probation for something, and his childhood best friend Miles, like they're movers, and it's trying to stay out of trouble for those last few days, but unfortunately, Colin witnesses a police shooting, and I feel like the issues that this movie deals with in terms of police and civilian interactions, race relations, gun violence, just all of that is so timely. And you know that it takes a while to make a movie, and it's just like gentrification, all this stuff. It's clearly so thought out, and the problems, unfortunately, since they started filming to now have, I feel like, only amplified. So it makes the movie even more timely, which is very fascinating. I think, again, they did such a good job. There are moments of, if you're not expecting it, it might be a little, not unsettling, but a little jarring in terms of there are in-movie raps where they're just kind of spitting at each other. And it's sometimes you're like, is this fiction? Is this not? And then it's like, no, that's just how they're communicating. So be prepared for that part of it. The supporting cast is great. This movie is really worth seeing because it's addressing a lot of things that I think need to be addressed right now. And the more you support works that bring those conversations to the forefront, the more maybe we can work towards solving them, which I know is a very lofty thing to say about a movie, but I think it's really worth checking out. And especially if you are from the Bay Area, go see this movie. You will be like, yes, this is Oakland. I get it. I think it's, pretty original in terms of what we're seeing. It's interesting that it came out back to back with Sorry to Bother You. One is very surreal. This one has hints of the surreal. So if you wanted to do an Oakland double feature, I think that'd actually be really cool to check out. So I'm going to give Blindspotting a 3.9 out of 5.